Olá, gente. Boa tarde, né? 6 horas ainda é boa tarde, não é boa noite. Estamos começando aqui mais uma live, mais uma conversa super bacana que o time Diabetes de Esportes faz aí aos domingos, né? Já desde o ano passado, desde antes da pandemia, nós tínhamos aqui um momento para conversar com pessoas ilustres, atletas do time Diabetes de Esportes, alguns amigos, profissionais, né? Amigos do mundo inteiro, né? Infelizmente, nós temos amigos no mundo inteiro e podemos ter uma conversa sempre muito bacana aí sobre o diabetes e atividade física, né? Que é um dos pilares aí para que a gente possa ter qualidade de vida em todo esse nosso tratamento, ok? Hoje nós vamos falar com um amigo do outro lado do mundo, vai ser um desafio para nós aqui, né? O Eshaan, ele vai estar falando inglês, né? Com o acento indiano, né? Eu estarei aqui, né? Eu já estive na Índia, conheço um pouquinho desse acento, né? Eu já vou chamar o Alexei aqui para estar com a gente também. Ele também já teve a experiência, então a gente vai ter esse desafio, mas tenho certeza que a gente vai conseguir cumprir isso de uma maneira bem satisfatória. Enquanto a gente está aqui, aproveita aí, se você ainda não assina o nosso canal, assina ele ali, isso ajuda a gente a saber que as pessoas estão interessadas em estar querendo saber mais sobre diabetes e sobre atividade física, tá? Então, se inscreva no nosso canal e você vai ficar sabendo aí dessa história como a de hoje e muitas outras, né? Nós temos aí 17 anos, né, o time Diabetes de Esportes, e a gente acumula aí uma experiência, histórias inusitadas, engraçadas, né, e principalmente histórias de superação, né. A ideia aqui é a gente mostrar que a atividade física é uma coisa natural, que as pessoas devem fazer, tendo ou não a questão do diabetes. Concorda comigo, Alexei?
São 17 anos de muita aventura, de muita qualidade e de como passar essas nossas experiências, não só as nossas, mas os nossos amigos que estão com a gente aqui, para o maior número possível de pessoas. Então, a ideia de se inscrever, de saber o que está acontecendo também por aqui é fundamental. E que delícia,
Isso.
que delícia. Ter encontrado hoje.
Imagine só, né? Nada melhor do que você tem que tratar de uma condição que você tem, como fazendo atividade física e outras coisas, né? Imagine você, tenho que fazer atividade física, pô, não é nenhuma obrigação, é um prazer que você deve ter fazendo isso para ter qualidade de vida, né? Por isso que a gente não pode encarar o diabetes como uma coisa ruim, né? Então, o diabetes é uma oportunidade aí que você teve para melhorar, às vezes, uma dieta, melhorar um estilo de vida, né?
Conhecer o mundo.
Conhecer o mundo, nossa, cara, graças ao diabetes eu conheço muitos lugares do mundo, né? E conheço pessoas fantásticas como a Eshaan, que a gente já vai trazer aqui. First, we need to say also welcome for our friends from around the world that are watching us here. We'll talk with Eshaan from India. We'll talk in English, but with simultaneous translate to Portuguese, okay? So if you have some doubts, you want to say hello to Eshaan, please send it in our comments here, and we'll talk with Eshaan in this way. Okay, Alexei, let's call our friend.
Yes, please. And train our English also.
And try our English with our Indian accent, of course. Let's do it. Eshaan, our friend.
Hola, hola.
Oh, sí, Eshaan, ¿hablas español también? ¿Podemos hacer esto en español?
Sí. Yo hablo español, but not so good. And that is why I think it's better we continue with the talk in English itself.
Of course, no problem, Eshaan. We are here ready to talk with you in English and translate for our friends here if they doesn't understand English, okay? But let's start. Alexei, what's our first question to Eshaan? He knows, but let's do it.
And so, Eshaan, tell me a little bit about your life. Who is Eshaan? Who is Eshaan today? And so where are you living? And so that's the first question, please.
Right. So my name is Eshaan, and I live in a very beautiful country that is India.
Yes.
We agree.
So, right. And I live on the western side of the country. The city that I live in is Pune. It is extremely beautiful. And someday, if you guys plan to visit India, I recommend you to come and visit Pune because it
Of
is
course, of
extremely
course.
beautiful. And yes, so I am 25 years old. I am a mechanical engineer and I have completed my degree. I am planning to go for my master's next year. And I have been a type 1 diabetic for the last 13 years. So I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes in the year 2007.
Mhm.
I was a school going child, only 12 years old when I was diagnosed. So,
Okay, Esha, we will do some stops to translate, ok? Então,
yes, sure.
O Eshaan está falando, né, que ele está com 30 anos, né, Alice, é isso?
25.
Não, 25, né, ele fez o diagnóstico com 12 anos, né, então fazem 13 anos que ele tem diabetes. Ok, Eshaan, please continue.
Right. So I used to swim competitively. I was a state swimmer.
Mhm.
And so I used to practice 2 times every day for 6 days a week, 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the evening, because I had to get ready. I had to prepare myself for my swimming competitions.
And
So
what your race, what your distance do you like?
I used to, my main race was 200 meters butterfly. That was my main
Butterfly.
event. Yes.
Butterfly.
And apart from that, I used to do 400 meters individual medley. That is all the 4 different strokes at one go.
Ok. O Eshaan, né, ele disse que ele pratica natação, né, praticou de uma forma bem séria, pelo deu para ver aí, treinava 6 vezes na semana, 3 horas por dia, né, para ser nadador profissional. E a prova dele é o 200 borboleta e também gostava aí de fazer o 400 medley aí.
Tanto é que a foto de convite dele é fazendo borboleta, né?
Fazendo borboleta.
Bem bonita.
We are talking about your picture in our flyer is you
Right.
swimming butterfly.
Right.
Very beautiful also.
Yeah.
Thank you. So it was in the year 2007 when I was preparing for one such competition. And at that time, I realized that I lost a lot of weight. So within a very short period of time, I lost a lot of weight and I became a very skinny child. So
Ele
that
está dizendo que ele estava treinando para umas competições em 2007 e ele começou a perder muito peso e ficou muito magro, né? Isso que chamou a atenção dele. Chama?
So, for me, my initial thoughts were maybe because I am swimming a lot and I am getting tired a lot. Maybe that is the reason I am losing my weight. And so I also used to feel quite thirsty. So I used to drink a lot of water. But then again, I related it with me swimming for more than 5 to 6 hours every day. So that that was in my mind. Maybe I am exerting myself, I am exercising more than what my body can tolerate. So maybe that is the reason for me being thirsty or me losing a lot of weight.
Ele está dizendo que ele começou a beber muita água e que o treino não estava assim tão satisfatório. E ele achava, né, que o que estava acontecendo é que ele estava treinando demais para a capacidade do corpo dele naquele momento, né? Por isso estava acontecendo essas reações, digamos assim, né, esses sintomas que a gente já conhece.
Yeah. So that is when my instructor, my coach, she told me to get my blood and my urine checked, just a normal checkup before the competitions. She herself was not sure this could be diabetes, but since at that time there wasn't much awareness about type 1 diabetes in India, but she got a hint it could be something related to diabetes. So she told me to get an entire checkup done, and that is when I went to the lab and I got my sugars checked, and I was told that my sugars are too high.
Ele está
And
dizendo que o técnico dele, né? Ele falou que o técnico estava ficando dessa forma, que o técnico dele recomendou um check-up. Né, os check-ups eram meio que naturais, assim, antes de competições, né? Ele foi fazer e já está o resultado que nós sabemos aí de ter diagnosticado uma hiperglicemia, né?
Posso perguntar algo para ele, Marcelo?
Please.
Eshaan, I have one question for you. And do you have family members with diabetes?
no, there is no family history of anyone in my family being diabetes, be it type 1 or type 2. So my grandfather last month he turned 90 years old, but luckily he has no diabetes till now.
Okay, you received your diagnosis, okay, and
Right.
what changed in your life in that moment? Of course, you are just a kid with 12 years old, but what happened after this diagnosis with you? And mainly with the sports that you love to practice.
So when I went and visited my endocrinologist, he told me that since my sugar levels are too high, so I need to get them down, and for that I need to start taking insulin. And he told me to be on a safer side I have to stop all my sports. So before being diagnosed, I was used to swimming around 5 to 6 hours every day. But after I was diagnosed, I was told to immediately stop all my sports activities. And I
For how
also
much
used,
time? How much time do you stop it with your exports?
so I stopped playing any kind of sport for almost 11 months.
Ele disse que após o diagnóstico, né, ele foi no médico, no endocrinologista, né, que pediu para ele parar, né, um pouco com os esportes. Ele ficou 11 meses longe dos esportes, né? Isso, imagina para um cara que está acostumado a nadar 5 vezes na semana aí, né? Ele ter que ter parado ali, claro, para conhecer o que estava acontecendo com ele. And after these 11 months.
So after 11 months, after my sugar levels were in the range for a longer period of time, my A1C was good. So I talked to my doctor again and I asked him if I can start doing my sports activities while taking care that my sugar levels are in range. So he told me not to start, swimming for longer durations immediately. He told me start slow and gradually go on building your duration that for that you swim.
Ele disse que depois desse tempo, né, ele voltou, né, a treinar quando a glicemia dele começou a passar a maior parte do tempo ali dentro do range, né, que a gente estabelece ali de padrões. Estava também com uma hemoglobina glicada boa, então a médica dele liberou ele para começar a prática, voltar à prática novamente, né, mas não ainda naquele volume grande que ele praticava antes, né? Eshaan, so you told us that the swing you trained for 5 or 6 times a week, and twice 3 hours. And
Right.
after this, how much do you start to train?
So immediately I started only with half hour of swimming a day, only 30 to 40 minutes every day, and
Mm-hmm.
only 4 times a week. Because during these 11 months, I had lost somewhat of my stamina. So getting back to my speed and the duration was not very easy for me.
Uhum.
So I started with
Ok. A Eshaan disse, né, que voltou a nadar umas 4 vezes na semana ali, de 30 a 40 minutos, né? Esse foi o retorno dele. And who is Nikita Eshaan?
Nikita is a very good friend of mine, and she is right now watching us live from UK. And
Ok.
she's the only friend of mine who is awake at this time. So I am very happy that she could make it and watch this live.
Ok, Nikita, thank you so much to watch us. Nikita, amiga do Eshaan, ela tá na Inglaterra assistindo a gente aqui, ó. Muito bom, né? A gente vê o pessoal aí nos assistindo. Eshaan, please. Então,
Yeah,
after this period, the main change of your life was you stopped to train and restart after these 11 months.
right. So before being diagnosed, I was preparing for this very particular race, and since I was diagnosed, I was told I couldn't continue with my swimming. So I was a bit sad that I had to cancel my idea of participating in that race. So after 11 months, uh, I told myself I have this month to get myself back to where I was 11 months ago. And
Wow.
luckily, next year, like after 12 months, this exact same competition was to happen. So I thought to myself, if I can try to come back and train myself while taking care that my sugars are in range, I should participate in this competition because I really missed swimming competitively. I used to enjoy swimming with someone around me, like a race. So after that, it I participated in that race, but I wasn't as fast as I should have been. But luckily, 2 months after that, there was another competition,
Uhum.
and so I got a period of 3.5 months to train myself. And yeah, so I got the second place in the other swimming competition. And I was so happy that 11 months of no swimming at all,
Uhum.
and finally I could see myself getting back to a very normal life, a life that I was used to. It was
É,
easy for me to accept diabetes at that moment, because now I could do everything that I used to do before.
o Eshaan tá falando, né? Então, depois dos 11 meses, voltou a treinar, foi para uma competição, não foi tão bem, aí foi para uma outra competição, acho que ele pegou, acho que segundo lugar, né? E foi um momento bem importante para ele do diagnóstico, porque ele entendeu que, tá, ele tinha diabetes, ok, mas ele poderia fazer o que ele quisesse, né? O que a gente fala aqui, né? Por isso que ele traz pessoas que não mexam para estar falando disso aqui, né? Que, we talk with Eshaan because it's important. You have diabetes, okay, it's not a problem because you can continue to do what you love to do.
Right. So after that, I gradually started swimming more and more and more and more. And I realized uh, the only thing that has changed is that I have to take insulin. Apart from that, nothing has changed whatsoever. And my willpower to do what I want to do to do what gives me happiness, to practice all kinds of sports that I love, I could do that easily.
Ele está
And one
falando
more,
que a única coisa que mudou na vida dele foi a questão que ele teve que começar a aplicar insulina, né? Que ele pôde voltar a todos os esportes que ele sempre gostava de fazer e tudo mais, né?
Quero perguntar mais uma coisa. Eshaan, I want to ask you something. Se o Eshaan teve o apoio da família dele em toda essa dinâmica. Yeah. Eshaan, did you have your family support at this moment from beginning? You're diagnosed and then, okay, I have type 1 diabetes. It's okay for me. I'm going to play my life all the same.
So when I was diagnosed, since there was no history in my family, it was a misconception that my family thought there is only one type of diabetes, that is type 2, which happens over a period of time uh, due to lifestyle. So we were not aware of type 1 diabetes. So initially it was a shock for my family, uh, me being diagnosed a type 1 diabetic, because like I said, there was no one in my family who was a diabetic. And so my family had to learn uh, the effects, uh, you know and they had to learn and understand the do's and the don'ts of diabetes management. But
Ele tá,
at the same
a gente está dizendo, né, que como eles não tinham na família dele ninguém com diabetes, então foi um choque para todos. Então todos tiveram que começar a aprender juntos, né? Que eu acho que é o que a gente fala bastante aqui, né? Dessa questão do aprendizado, da família estar junto ali. Informação, conhecimento é o que é o nosso principal tratamento, né?
Luana,
Okay,
Luana
okay,
told you
Alexei.
it's a very beautiful testimonial here. Your testimony is very beautiful, Luana, our friend here from Brazil. It's very beautiful testimonial.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Gracias.
Obrigado.
Okay, is that what I'm supposed to say?
Sorry?
Yes.
How do I respond?
Obrigado.
Obrigado.
Yes. Okay, let's talk about another thing. How do you know us?
So in the year 2014,
you can speak about the project of Delphine, of course.
right. So in 2014, my doctor, he called me up and he told me there is this kind of trek that has already happened in Kilimanjaro in 2013, and type 1 diabetics who want to challenge themselves and create awareness about type 1 diabetes, they come together and they go for a hike. So this year, Sanofi and World Diabetes Tour have decided that someone from India can participate and be a part of this group.
O Eshaan está dizendo, né? Eu perguntei para ele como é que a gente se conheceu, né? Tudo. Ele falou que o médico dele contou para ele que um grupo de atletas com diabetes tinha cumprido um desafio que foi ir para o Kilimanjaro, né? Foi quando eu e o Alexei, nós fomos para lá junto com o grupo, junto com a Delphine e outros amigos. Então, foi a primeira vez que ele ouviu falar, e a Sanofi, que é a patrocinadora de tudo isso, né, junto com o World Diabetes Tour, eles gostariam de levar alguém para a Índia, lá, né? Foi assim que ele ficou sabendo. Eshaan?
Yeah. But I wasn't told who the other members of the group were going to be. So I thought I was 19 years old, and I thought maybe uh, there would be type 1 diabetes from around the world who are of my age, And so I was very excited to meet people from all over the world going through a condition that I myself was going through. But when I saw the profiles of the other uh, members of the group, I was taken aback because I remember reading Alexi's profile, and it said he runs marathon, and he was also, I think, learning Aikido. Is
Yeah,
that is that
yeah,
Mhm.
I'm sensei, Aikido sensei.
say? And so I thought these are great people who have understood the importance of sports and have been managing diabetes since so long, and it would be a very great opportunity for me to meet these people and try to learn something from them and just share my experience. So I that is how I know Alexi in 2004 when I went to the Machu Picchu expedition along with 10 others from our group. And I initially I don't do you remember, Alexi? I was a bit scared to talk to people from the group because I thought these people have great accomplishments. What do I have to bring to the table to meet these people? But Alexi was so friendly with me when we met at the airport in
I remember. I remember.
Peru. And so our first meeting, I remember I was with Mary from China, and Alexi, he called us out and he came there and he hugged us. And at that moment, I realized Alexi is a lot older than me, but he and I are mentally the same age. I can connect with Alexi easily. And although there was language barrier, but I don't think we ever had problems talking to each other. So it was a very great experience for me to know about Alexi. And then in 2017, when Marcelo, you decided to come visit India and go on a hike to the Everest base camp. I had never thought about going to the Everest base camp myself. Being from India and the Everest base camp being in the neighbor country, I never thought. But Marcelo, he came from Brazil to first in India, and from there he went to Nepal. At that time, I think we had a conversation about various places where you could visit in India, and if you could meet someone who could accompany you to the Everest base. At that time, I remember I thought to myself that someday I have to go and visit the Everest base camp because people from all over the world are coming and visiting it. And then I saw your pictures, I saw your posts, and yes, so that is how I know Alexi since 2014, and I know Marcelo since 2017.
Deixa eu traduzir um pouquinho. Então, o Eshaan conheceu a gente, ele acabou me conhecendo no projeto da Delfine em 2014. A gente se encontrou no aeroporto e junto com a Mary Shai, da China. Foi um encontro bem legal, eu me lembro desse encontro, então foi bem... até a própria questão da língua, que parecia inicialmente uma barreira, esquece. A questão da língua, ela não acontece nesse tipo de empatia ou nesse tipo de amizade. E aí a gente fez todo o projeto da Delfine em 2014 com o Salcantay Trek e o Machu Picchu no final, com Juana Picchu e os outros mais. Do you remember there's some people asking for marriage at the summit of Juana Picchu, Eshaan? Do you remember this moment in our trekking in Machu Picchu?
I vaguely remember something uh, that had happened when we hiked the Huayna
Yeah, true. At the
Mm-hmm.
summit, at the highest point. Eu
right?
perguntei para o Eshaan se ele lembra do momento em que a gente estava no ponto mais alto de Machu Picchu, ou Huayna Picchu, em que um casal pede em casamento. Então, o noivo pede ela em casamento. Perguntei isso para ele, perguntei se ele lembrava disso. I have one question from Luana here in Brazil. Luana lives close to us here in Brazil, in another state. And so
Okay.
she asking you, would you have an overview of how diabetes is seen in India? Question of types of treatment and incentive for quality of life with diabetes. If are there many associations in India? I guess you're going to speak a little bit more about this. Just one point to answer Luana's ask.
Right. So I can say the condition now in India is much better than what it was 10 years ago. We have many doctors who are specializing and are treating type 1 kids. We have more awareness. We have more diabetes education camps now. And we also have more self-help groups or communities that help each other and help spread awareness and basically support each other for type 1s. And apart from that, I still think we have a very long way to go. Yeah.
Ok, I translate here. Então, Luana, referente à tua pergunta, né, sobre como o diabetes é visto na Índia, o apoio de médicos para as crianças, just in child or in old people also, Eshaan? How do you think? Just child, you said, but old people also, or?
Yes. So initially, I think India is going to be the world capital for diabetics in a few years. So there was awareness about type 2 diabetics, and people used to get themselves checked for diabetes right from the age of 40. So there was some awareness about type 2 diabetes, but there was a lack of awareness, and people were not educated much about type 1 diabetes. So that has changed now. There is equal awareness about type 1 as well as type 2 diabetes. uh, the lifestyle and the quality of life, I feel, is much better for type 1 diabetics in India than compared to type 2 diabetics, because we have groups who help and promote management of diabetics. So I remember my life being very planned and systematic, because I was a type 1 diabetic. And since a very young age, I realized I had to take care of my body. I had to manage my sugar levels well, so that I can live a very happy life. So I feel my quality of life was much better compared to what a type 2 diabetic is going through in India right now.
Então, I'm going to translate here, Eshaan. Ele comentou que o foco dele estava relacionado ao diabetes tipo 1 e que provavelmente em alguns anos a Índia seja um foco central de diabetes. Então, o próprio tratamento de diabetes comparado ao tipo 2 existe, no ponto de vista dele, um pouco mais de qualidade ou de atenção, tá? Não mais do que isso. Eshaan, Luana asked another question for you. It's plenty of asks for you, so you can see the ask, or
Right.
you need to trust.
No, okay. So is that easy to have access to the treatment, and what kind of treatment do you use? So when I was diagnosed, I was put on a syringe. After that, I shifted on insulin pens. And since 2011, I have been using the Medtronic insulin pump. Since I am living in a big city, access to treatment is much easier for me. I have doctors whom I can text and ask any doubts or any problems that I am going through. That is not the condition in rural areas as of now. So people who live in smaller cities, sometimes it happens that there is no doctor whom they can consult to, so they have to travel a lot and take an appointment to meet the doctor and then get themselves the necessary treatment. So yeah.
Ok. Então, Luana, ou quem está nos assistindo, o Eshaan começou o tratamento com seringas, né? O normal e o comum, pelo menos no meu tempo também. Depois foi na direção das canetas, ou no nosso tempo, eu do Marcelo. Depois foi na direção das canetas. E agora ele está usando bomba da Medtronic. Então, isso, ele comemora numa cidade grande, para ele, é o que ele tem em mãos. Mas nas áreas rurais, isso não é uma realidade. Existe uma dificuldade, inclusive, para você poder viajar para encontrar a respectiva informação, uma consulta com endócrino, tá? A realidade lá deles também é nessa direção. That's it. So, pode falar, Marcelo?
Please, Alexei.
Eu esqueci de comentar que o Eshaan me conheceu em 2014 e conheceu o Marcelo em 2017, quando o Marcelo foi fazer o Everest Base Camp e acabou conversando com o Eshaan por morar na Índia, dele poder apoiá-lo naquele local.
Eu dei uma passada por lá, foi
Sim.
Um ponto antes de chegar no Nepal. So, Eshaan, tell us, what about now, né? What are your plans to sports from now? Just swimming, trekking, Everest Summit,
ultramarathons?
So after taking inspiration from Alexi and Marcelo, I started running a bit, not proper marathon level runs, but started smaller runs, 10 kilometers, gradually shifted on to 21 kilometers. That's the half marathon. And yes, I do enjoy hiking a lot. So I make it a point that I go on smaller hikes on weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, or whenever it is possible. And now I have retired from competitive swimming, but I still do enjoy swim every now and then, just to relax. And that because I enjoy swimming. I have been swimming since I was 5.5 years old. So I do enjoy doing that. So apart from that, I also cycle a lot. And so yes,
let's talk about the triathlons então, Eshaan.
I was getting to that part. So that is what since like I've started cycling recently, and that is what came to my mind. Swimming done, running done, cycling. So if I get better at cycling, maybe I can give Ironman 70.3 a chance. Maybe I can take part in that.
Ok, o Eshaan estava falando, né, então, que ele está aposentado da natação, né, ele continua nadando porque ele gosta, né, ele começou a correr, né, já correu prova de 10, acho que ele está treinando para fazer meia e visando subir além disso, né, que sobre as caminhadas e os hikings, né, ele já fez alguns, né, no final de semana. Eshaan, India, it's an amazing country to hiking, okay? If you go to north or if you go to east, you have a lot. You have the Himalayas, okay? Então
Right.
you can know a wonderful place. And about the triathlons, do you know what? It's a good triathlete. A good triathlete is the guy that can swim really fast, like you, and can run very good, like you. The cycling is just something to rest to run.
Uh-huh.
between swim and run, just a rest.
Just rest, okay? So you are ready to start the triathlons, I think so.
I should start practicing right after this interview, I guess.
Eu fiz uma brincadeira com o Eshaan aqui, né, dizendo que o que é um bom triatleta, né? Triatleta é aquele cara que nada muito bem, né? Isso nós triatletas falamos. É um cara que nada muito bem, corre muito bem e ali no meio do caminho ele tem que sobreviver na bicicleta, né? Então você tem que dar uma descansada. E se o cara for excelente ciclista e não correr, esquece, ele nunca vai nem completar um triatlo, né? Eu fiz uma brincadeira com ele dizendo que ele já estava pronto para começar no triatlo, né? E também falei que a Índia é um país lindo, maravilhoso para começar a fazer trilhas, trekking, porque no norte, no leste, já tem os Himalaias ali, né? So, Eshaan, we are going to finish our talking here, and it was a really, really pleasure for us talk with you from India. Agora, gente, são 2h30, 3 horas da manhã na Índia e o Eshaan acordou só para falar com a gente. Now it's 3 o'clock in India, Eshaan? Mumbai?
Yes.
Yeah. Mumbai, because India has a lot of times in India. Né? And thanks so much to wake up and talk with us. It's very important to know how the diabetes are around the world. We have the same condition, we have the same treatment, we have the same ideas, because this is important to know. We know that the sports, it's a very important piece with our treatment. Então, it's very good to know that you are a swimmer, that you like to run, that you like to ride, like us here in Brazil, like our friends around the world.
Right. I have enjoyed this chat a lot, and so as always, Alexi and Marcel, you as well have been amazing hosts, and I actually have enjoyed watching your previous videos as well. But unfortunately, I couldn't understand what Mauro and what Stefano were talking, because it happened entirely in Spanish, and my Spanish is not that great as of now. But it's been fun for me to be a part of this chat show.
Ele está dizendo que ele viu os vídeos do Mauro, né, do Dr. Mauro e também do Stefano, né, que ele conheceu na mesma trip aí com o Alexei, né, para Machu Picchu, né, o Dr. Mauro estava lá, o Stefano também, né, mas que infelizmente o espanhol dele não é bom o suficiente ainda, né, que ele disse, então ele não pôde compreender muita coisa ali. E eu não sei se as lives do YouTube geram legenda, Alexei, sabe disso, né?
Automaticamente para inglês. So YouTube translate automatically for English. Do you know, Eshaan? I guess yes. From English to our language country, I guess. YouTube translate automatically, I guess. But okay, you can.
I think I will check that, how it's how to get the audio translated.
Yeah, it's just manage in YouTube. You pointed.
Probably.
Yeah.
So, Eshaan, thanks so much. We have a friend in India. It's very good to know about it. And you have some friends, not two friends here in Brazil. We have some friends. When you want to come here to know all Brazil, you can stay here. I live in Curitiba, Alexei in São Paulo, but you have friends around the Brazil, and you can, with a lot of pleasure, receive you. Okay? Thank you so much. If you want to say thanks or goodbye for us, but stay here. I need to talk about our next chat, explain some things about our next chat occasion.
Right. So
thank you.
A big thank you to everyone who has watched, and thank you for all the questions that were asked. Yeah, so it was a very lovely chat, and I had an amazing time with you guys. Thank you. And namaste.
Namaste. Thank you very much, Eshaan. Lovely to see you at 2020. You are good, very good,
Right.
and amazing to have friends around the world. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Então, gente, que eu falei, né? A gente agradece demais aqui o Eshaan. E a gente já vai divulgar a próxima live que a gente faz. Agora a gente vai falar que vai ter uma mudança aqui, né? A gente vai estar falando com o Dr. Marco Vivo. Veja só que honra para nós aqui, né? Pessoal que tem um pouquinho mais de tempo de diabetes, aí que fez o diagnóstico jovem, assim como eu, Alexei, a gente conhece o Dr. Marco, porque nós somos do NR, né? Ele é o coordenador lá, né? O diretor-geral lá do nosso recanto, que é o principal camp, né, para conhecimento sobre diabetes, né, no Brasil, assim, né. Eu acho que, infelizmente, nem todos têm a possibilidade de ir, né, existe um número de vagas, né, as pessoas têm que concorrer a essas vagas, né, também existem algumas questões de custo, mas às vezes isso consegue ser de conseguir patrocínio, mas enfim, é onde se aprende realmente como é que você trata o seu diabetes no dia a dia ali, né. A gente fala, né, eu sei, fomos jovens para lá, né, jovens no sentido que a gente está lá com todos os cuidados médicos, enfermeiros, nutricionistas, educadores físicos, para a gente conhecer nosso diabetes e sair de lá, principalmente com autonomia. Então, a gente vai ter uma conversa fantástica com o Dr. Marco sobre isso. Mas a mudança que a gente está falando aqui é justamente sobre dia e horário, tá? A gente vai estar, em razão de compromissos, tudo, a gente vai estar mudando as nossas lives, né? Não sabemos se só essa ou para sempre, né? A gente tem que estar sempre se renovando, né? Então, será nas quartas-feiras, né? Às 18h30. Então, vai ser no dia 16 de setembro, né? Então, essa semana não, mas na outra quarta-feira, a gente vai ter essa conversa aí com o Dr. Marco nesse novo dia e horário, tá? Então, coloque na agenda de vocês, como eu disse, faça a inscrição e marque ali o sininho ali para receber as notificações, vocês nunca vão perder uma das nossas lives, que isso vai estar aparecendo, ok? Então, obrigado, gente, por estarem aqui, obrigado aí por estarem recepcionando o Eshaan, foi um excelente aqui conversa com ele, divertida, curta, porque a gente tem que estar traduzindo e tudo mais, né? Mas deu para ver que a gente tem um amigo bem legal e que um cara atleta e que não tadinho que tem diabetes, né? E sim, como nós somos fortes com isso.
Lida bem com o seu diabetes e é ponto de referência também na região dele. Isso que é super importante.
Sim, já terem projetos importantes, assim como nós, então a gente tem uma relação muito boa. Tá bom, gente? Então, obrigado, boa noite, fiquem bem e até a próxima aí. Valeu,
boa noite,
gente.
A todos.
Obrigado.
Boa noite a
Thank
todos.
you,
Obrigado,
Ana.
Marcelo.
Obrigado, Alexei. Até mais.
Até mais.